All right, how you going, bro?
Good,
Thanks
bro.
for coming on.
Pleasure.
I know I've been nagging you for a bit to come on here, but finally got it going.
Always happy to help, bro.
Today's actually a special one because Joe and Peter have allowed us to host this from the gym. Where we put our blood, sweat, and tears in every week, which is cool. So shout out to Matrix Gym, Bagheera Waters. Thanks for letting us do that. So you're actually a trainer or a coach here. How'd you get into that?
Well, I've been, obviously, like as you know, I've been training here on and off sort of over the past, I guess, 5 years. Funny story, actually, when I met my real father in the last sort of 6 years, one of his best mates is Peter Kent, the owner of Matrix, obviously.
Were you already training here?
Nah, I was actually looking. It was like sort of, I'd always wanted to get into some form of fighting. Like I always like punching on back in footy, and as we all do when we're young boys. And then when I went to the army, we couldn't do like any combat sports unless it was in the military, just for insurances and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'd always wanted to do it, but I couldn't get around to it. And then it was funny, like met my real father and I was looking for a gym to train out and stuff, and then he introduced me to Pete and I came down to Matrix, and it sort of just started from there.
Worked out perfect.
Yeah, so I obviously started, Matrix is known as, on the Gold Coast, or Australia-wide I guess you'd say, as a Muay Thai gym. They do obviously jiu-jitsu and boxing as well, but that's predominantly what it's known as. So I did start doing a bit of Muay Thai. I did have a fight lined up after about a year, but I did actually, in this ring, the last heavy sparring session with one of the boys, I did my knee just on those ropes just there. I just stepped back wrong and did my knee, so I couldn't go through the fight.
You stepped back off out of the ring.
Yeah, so I went to you block a kick. Yeah. As I stood back, I went to push forward after to throw a punch, but I just had weird weight, the weight wasn't on the right spot on my foot, and I just my knee buckled under me.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately I couldn't have that fight.
That's shattering.
Yeah, bro, I was devastated. the worst part was I just done fucking, you know how Pete is, he trains you like a dog.
Yeah.
I just done 4-6 weeks of fight training, and to not be able to fight, and I felt devo for the other guy as well, because he'd obviously put in as much time and effort, and then for him not to be able to fight as well, it's shit.
They didn't find anyone for him?
I don't know, I didn't really sort of follow up. I just sort of sent him a message and said, hey bro, I'm really sorry, this has happened.
It was obviously pretty bad for you to have to pull out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like a light tear in one of the ligaments through my knee.
You still get dramas for that?
No, I've had no problems since, but pretty much after that, obviously I still wanted to train, and I can't not train. I've always got to do something, otherwise it just fucking does my head in.
Yeah.
So that's what really got me into boxing. So everyone I used to sort of spar with and stuff was you go alright Muay Thai, but you've got good hands and you're more of a boxer style. That's how you fight. So then I was I'll just get my hands better while I can't, utilize my legs, knees, all that sort of thing. And then I sort of fell more in love with the boxing and the very in and out. You don't have to take any real punishment like you do in Muay Thai and MMA and all those sort of sports. So I sort of stuck with it.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. As soon as I've done a few MMA sessions and jiu-jitsu and stuff, and straight away I was no, it's not for me. Boxing's for me. I don't want nobody kicking my legs.
It's fucking brutal.
And fucking rolling around on the ground with some other dude's fat, sweaty ass on me. Boxing's just, right up my alley too.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely one of the things I've definitely found, compared to when I was training for my first fight, I felt fresh, good going into it. Whereas my Muay Thai fight, I just wanted it to be over. I was just that fucking wrecked and exhausted from all the conditioning, runs and all that sort of stuff. Boxing, you've only got to really work on your hands.
Yeah.
Muay Thai, you've got to worry about conditioning or your defense, clinching, all that. So there's so much more you've got to utilize and practice. So it's a lot more to really sort of consider. But yeah, I went a bit off topic there, but we'll get back to the boxing. So yeah, pretty much started doing the boxing a bit more, and then sort of about a year ago, Pete was just a bit short-staffed, and that's when I just got in and did my PT course and everything. So Pete's can you just help us out for a bit?
So they didn't. You were the first boxing coach, yeah? They didn't do boxing before you?
No, I can't remember. I think it was Mark, actually.
Yeah.
You know Mark Muay Thai? Yeah. He, I think he was doing it with Pete a bit. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they always did it. I think it's they've got more classes and it's sort of elevated a bit more now. that we've gotten around it and like put a bit more work into it. But yeah, it was pretty much just started from him just hitting me up, being good friends. He knew I wouldn't sort of unreliable and all that sort of stuff. He's like, oh, can you just look after it? It takes a bit off my plate. If you like it, you can continue. If not, blah, blah. And then I don't mind it. It's, you know, it's been good. I've made obviously some new friends and shit out of it. So yeah, it's been cool. So I'm just going to keep sort of doing it until, you know what I mean? It gets a bit too much for me. They might need to bring another guy on or whatever.
Yeah, nice. You're saying that obviously you didn't get your kickboxing fight in, but you had an amateur boxing fight.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
So that was the year before COVID.
Yeah.
Around about this time the year before COVID at the Lone Star Tavern in Miami there.
Yeah.
So,
how'd that go? Where was the training like?
Yeah, I mean,
did Pete train you for that also?
No, I actually went to. I was going to go to Matrix. So Matrix Muay Thai and boxing gym, they're different, but originally, and then there's Access Jiu-Jitsu, obviously the Jiu-Jitsu downstairs. Yep. They all started here. So Matrix boxing gym started upstairs. I'm pretty sure that, like, might not be exact, but I'm pretty sure from hearing from Pete and stuff, Matrix started upstairs, the boxing. There was the Muay Thai and then Jiu-Jitsu. And then when they expanded and got bigger and better, they obviously went and got their own places. And
so it's just a franchise, like those other ones have got nothing to do with the other Matrix.
Yeah, they're their own things. They're all sort of linked together like a big sort of like family, I guess you'd say. Like there's always guys coming back and forth and all that sort of thing, which is pretty cool. But I was originally going to go there. I did train there for a little bit, but at that stage I wasn't looking at fighting straight away. And that gym on the Gold Coast, probably in Australia at the moment, it's probably the gym they've got some like top class fighters.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like, if I'm going to do something, it's 100%. I don't just half-ass it. So I was like, and they were like, well, if you're going to fight here, like, you got to fight sort of thing. It's not. Yeah. And I was sort of just like, oh, do I want to do it? Blah, blah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So then I went to PCYC Ashmore, which is just down the road. Funny thing, actually, the coach at the time, Jeff Rowlands, was my dad's first amateur boxing coach back in the day on the Gold Coast.
So your dad used to be a boxer as well?
Yeah, he had a couple of amateur boxing fights as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rocked up and we got talking. He's like, oh, he was a really cool old dude, actually. I still keep in contact with him. And he was like, oh yeah, I know your old man, blah, blah. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's funny, actually. Like, we'll get into it, but since meeting my dad, I actually sort of already knew him and all his mates from all this wild shit, bro. It's crazy. But,
small world, huh?
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so I started training there, and then my little brother was actually, when he lived on the Gold Coast, he started training there as well, and we'll get right into it. And it was, the amateurs obviously is not as serious as professional, so you can like, the training there was like, you know, 5 nights a week, you get in, you get out. It's an hour and a half sort of sessions, which is very manageable if it's not a career for you and you're just doing it for fun and you still got to work on that sort of thing, but that's manageable.
Yeah.
So I obviously was doing the training there. The fight camp was about 4 weeks, had my first fight.
How's it go with picking your opponent and stuff? Do you have any say in it in the amateurs, or do they give you someone?
I went in with the mentality of how I've always been, like, no matter who's in front of me, I'm going to give it my fucking all, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Ultimately, I want to fucking knock his head off, but you know what I mean? You can't be that arrogant. You got to be confident, but I'm not an arrogant cunt like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just pretty much said, whoever you put in front of me, like, I'm just going to give it a good crack. And that's sort of how I went into it. I didn't want to meet him. I didn't want to see him on Instagram. I just wanted to go in. Yeah. I wanted to focus on myself.
Yeah. You want to be thinking about him before,
exactly. I remember the only sort of thing I was thinking of, like, towards the end, like 2 weeks out, I was just like, you start getting the jitters and like, fuck, have I made the right decision? Like, is he training harder than me? I remember waking up in the middle of the night, like going for runs and shit, because I was just like, he's not working. I know if I'm working harder than him, I'm going to beat him. That was my mentality,
I fucking think, because I'm obviously thinking about doing a fight as well, and I think I'll have the same mindset. I'm already like that, but I'm already going to put 150% in, like, if I start doing it as well.
Yeah.
Do you plan on having another fight?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you want to tell everyone what happened in the first fight?
Yeah, so honestly, it's fucking, like, I don't even really remember it. It was over in the first round. Did
you have like a walkout, get some gangster tunes going?
Yeah. I had, Skepta, drill rapper. I had You Don't Say From the Block.
Yeah.
I had that song. That was my walkout. I remember walking out, and then I just looked over my corner, and then I remember, like, you know, when there's 10 seconds to go, they like clap. I remember Pete and my dad both saying, no matter what, how the round's gone, that last 10 seconds, you want to always be like coming out on top
aggressive,
of that round.
Yeah.
And that's when I clicked him and knocked him out. Or I didn't knock him out, I knocked him down and he didn't want to get back up. So
yeah, in the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, last 10 seconds.
Fuck.
So it was really just feeling each other out. I mean, I looked back on the recording I didn't take any shots from him. He didn't really, I didn't throw anything crazy at him either. It was sort of just really feeling each other out, getting your distances and all that sort of thing. And then I just remember, as I said, that 10 seconds, I'm just going to finish on top for this round. And that's just when I got him.
Clipped him.
Yeah, I got him I threw a massive right overhand, and in the camera, his hands were down, and it just missed his face. Then straight after, I followed up with a straight left.
Yeah.
Left hook, and they're the two shots that sort of dazed him a bit. And then it was just a couple of body shots and just uppercut, and then he just took a knee, and that was it. Game over.
Nice. How was the emotions after that?
Yeah, bro, I was pretty sick. All my friends and that was the best thing. All my friends and family. That was another thing. I was just like, you can't go out in front of all your friends. I was almost like, fuck, I wish no one was here.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I can't go out.
It sort of keeps you accountable, everyone being there. You got to show up.
100%.
You got to work hard. You don't want to let them down.
So it was pretty cool. I remember looking to the corner and everyone, all my friends and family were there, pumping me up. And bro, it's honestly as a personal achievement for myself. It might not seem like a big deal, but I've dealt with a lot of things in my life as a mental thing for me.
Yeah.
To be able to do it all, it was. I mean, I had people helping me out with sparring and all that sort of stuff. Predominantly, most of the training and everything I did all myself. So it was a really big mental win for me. It's probably one of my best achievements to date that I've achieved.
You should definitely be proud of that.
Yeah.
Just the discipline and everything. That's all. Another reason why I would like to do it. Not necessarily just to go in the ring and fight someone. It's just put myself through that discipline, because I've never really needed that much discipline for anything really in my life. I've always just had enough, but that is one thing that you really do need to be disciplined, and it comes down to how hard you work. Everything's on you.
100%, exactly.
Yeah. Have you got any plans of having another one? I know you've sort of spoken about it, but nothing's in stone.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to, so since pretty much COVID, all that happened, I was seeing I wanted to get straight back in the ring sort of thing. I had a little bit of a break, went to Bali and partying and stuff, and then I was I'll get back into it. And then COVID sort of happened, and everyone's fights were getting pulled. As I said, it's not be all end all for me. It's just a hobby on the side. So to do 6 weeks of fight camp, and then your fight gets pulled last minute, I was like, I'm just going to wait till all that bullshit fucking goes to the side. Because a lot of guys, there was one guy that used to train here, Matthew's now at Matrix Boxing, and his last 3 fights here got pulled last minute because of COVID, lockdowns and all that. And I was just like, fuck that, I'm not doing that.
It's not worth going through all the training for it to just
100%. So I just said I'd wait till that finishes. I was planning to try and have one this year, but with my line of work, dancing on the weekends and stuff, it's it's hard to be, back and forth, and you got to really I know what I'm like. You got to commit, focus, and I just want to have a 4-week block where it's just all about boxing. So when that pops up and I've got that spare time, jumping straight back in. Yeah,
well, I'm sort of if that happens sometime at the end of the year or something, I think that I'm going to sort of jump on the same train. And just only work a couple of days a week.
Yeah, 100%.
And then just fully get into it. Like you said, it is mentally and physically draining doing everything, work, training, and then doing your boxing on the side.
Yeah.
And then obviously you got to do all the extra runs and all that shit. It is pretty hectic.
Yeah, 100%.
But I really want to know about the army, bro. When did you go there, and why did you decide to do that? How'd that come about?
Well, I'll get into this leading me into why I got into the army. So when just after my 70th birthday, I actually found out my stepfather, I thought he was my real father the whole way through. He was actually my stepfather.
Yeah.
So that was dude, I'm still dealing with shit from that, major trust issues and stuff, because how I looked at it, my mum, obviously the whole way through, I was like, if anyone's always going to be straight with me, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna be
I'm not hating on her saying she lied to me. She had her own reasons, which is cool. But at the end of the day, how I always thought was my mum's always gonna have my back. She's always gonna look after me, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And then to find out, well, I've pretty much been, something's been kept from me my whole life. I've been lied to in a sense.
Yeah.
I ran away from home, bro. I just took off.
What age were you?
I just turned 17.
Yeah. That's
so
pretty
pretty
hectic age.
I didn't even I can't even explain like how I felt, because it was, you know, I mean, I've never had anything come close to feeling that type of way.
I don't think anybody could really.
And it's not to say like, you know, I mean, everyone's got their own story and their own thing. Like, it's not to say mine's worse, or for me, it was the worst thing I've ever experienced. So,
of course.
I remember.
Did you have a good relationship with your stepfather?
Yeah. Our whole family had a good relationship. We had our own. Me and him had our own thing, which I don't really want to get into.
So before that, sorry.
Yeah.
You were under in the impression that he was your father, and you were just calling him dad, and it was just 100%. A normal family.
Like I always.
Were they still together? Obviously.
Yeah, they're still together this day.
Yeah.
It was really weird, dude. Like I remember growing up, like all these little things over the years that, like for example, like my brother Charles, who's my half brother, like I thought he was my real brother the whole way. Which
he's your stepdad's son.
Yeah. Which like he's still my little, like he'll always be my brother. Yeah, family. So, but like everyone would always say Charles was a spitting image of Andrew, my stepfather, and that I was a spitting image of my mum. And it was always like, I don't know, everyone really made a point of it. Yeah. And it was always like in my head, I was just like, oh, like, I don't know, something just didn't add up.
Because that is sort of a thing though. Sometimes you have one kid that looks like that, but if they're pushing on you enough for you to make you think something, like, because you had no reason to not think anything else.
Yeah. So it was that was one thing that always like really stuck with me for some reason. And then like I always did feel like my brother and stepfather, they had a different relationship. Like, I mean, we still had a good relationship. We had a good relationship as a family, but I felt like they had their own little thing, which was like I deep down always like sort of was wanted to be included and wanted it, but it just wasn't our thing. It was a bit.
It's just because he was his actual son. So, they just had a natural thing. He's probably sort of had to force his love, but like it's different. Yeah.
And I get that. Like, I mean, mad respect to him for. I mean, I always had a roof over my head. Like you hear the stories of stepfathers and stepmums and the crazy shit that happens. Like as I said, we had our own little ifs and buts and all that sort of stuff. But predominantly, I always had a roof over my head. I had nice clothes, went to school. I had a good life. So I'll always be grateful and respect that of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the contrary, like obviously still, regardless of all that, when you find information like that, it's pretty heavy. So yeah, I took off from home.
How did it come out? You don't have to get into it.
Yeah, this is like pretty personal sort of stuff, and it's just like, I don't want to get into that, but pretty much my uncle, some shit sort of went down. I went to my uncle to confide in him, and he told me. So it wasn't even them that told me as well, so that was really hard for me. I found out through like my uncle, third person, he was like, we weren't really that close anyway.
Yeah, and that can sort of cause like a whole family feud.
Well, dude, it just all blew up from there. So as I said, we had a massive, at that time we were living in Darwin, helping out with the family business. They had pubs and rodeos and all that up there. That all sort of blew up. I had a massive confrontation with them, and it went really like bad, like south. So I just took off from home. They ended up like within a couple of days moving back to the Gold Coast and left me there, and I sort of was like, well, fuck you guys, sort of thing. But I remember that, I can't remember if it was that night or the next night, because I had a like a high school girlfriend at the time. I went straight to her house, and she was like, didn't want to bar it, sort of thing. And I was like, didn't give a fuck.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what's your problem? Like, you deal with it, sort of thing, which is like whatever. But like then I was just like, fuck, I've got no one, like who do I trust? Like, so I remember that I can't remember if it was the first night or the next night. I went up. There's a place in Darwin called East Point, which is like an old army ruins like lookout. And at that time, like I was fucking, I won't get into that anyway. I was So I went up there and I remember I had a whole bunch of pills, like just pingers. Yeah. Like I think a 10 bag or 12 pingers or something. And I went up there and I remember like I didn't go up.
You bring them up there with you.
Yeah, I wasn't going there. Like I was going there to.
Oh, you drive?
No. Like I had them.
Oh yeah.
And we we're going to like because you go to parties and that sort of shit up there. Yeah. And I was going up there just to like sleep the night. So I didn't know where to go, and I just didn't want to be near anyone. And I remember I just had them, and I was just like, I didn't like. It wasn't a suicide attempt, but it was just like I'm just going to take them all. And if it was weird how I thought like I'm giving like a flip of the coin, like. If I have them all in an OD, it's meant to be. If I have them all and I'm good, then the next day I'm going to push on and like I'm supposed to be here. I'm going to move forward. That's was my mentality at that stage.
It's being a 17-year-old, like that's fucking and finding something out like that. Yeah. Like, I couldn't even imagine what you'd be going through. Like it'd be hectic. Like I remember my parents. I thought my parents were going to split up when I was about 17, and like I ran away from home and shit as well because I was like, thought my dad was a cunt and all this shit. Yeah. And like that's not even in the same realm, and I remember how I felt then, so I couldn't imagine how you felt. Like, it's gnarly.
Like, dude, I can't even like explain. I just felt.
Your father didn't know either.
No, I only met him, as I said, 5-6 years ago, and he found out when I found out. Like we got, is it paternity test? Is that where you get like to see if yeah.
I don't know if that word's right, but I know what you mean.
One of those if he's my biological father test done.
Maternity?
Like, I can't remember. But we went and got one of them done because like we both didn't know. Like he knew who my mum was obviously and all that sort of stuff, but like that's a whole nother fucking story as well there sort of thing. But so I pretty much so obviously I woke up the next morning feeling like fucking shit.
I was about to say, what happened that night? Did you just sit in the room and just fucking get cooked as, or like did you go out?
No, I just fell asleep, bro. I don't even I reckon I would have been out within 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I didn't even have a chance to like feel it.
Go,
yeah. And then I woke up the next day feeling like fucking shit. I remember I went down to the waterfront, just like fresh. I just drank some water because I was obviously that dehydrated and shit from the night before. And then I went into.
So where were you staying? You stayed in a hotel?
No, that night I slept just in the street, like in old army ruins at the top of East. So like where they had like a first lookout.
Yeah.
It's called. So it's Fanny Bay. And then East Point's at the top, and there's like all these old army ruins. So it's like all the local Aboriginals and stuff camp out there, and it's that sort of vibe, like right on top of this cliff face on water. So I just stayed up there the night, and then the next day, I remember I was walking through Darwin, like the town, and I walked past a recruitment centre.
Yeah.
And I just walked in, and I was just like, oh, like to sign up sort of thing. But at that stage, because I was 17, I needed parent. Or guardian to sign me off to go.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just like I ended up moving in, just bumming around sort of mates' houses and stuff for like 6. Oh, and I went back to my uncle's for a little bit as well. 6 to 8 months. I was sort of just bumming around, working, just you know, what I mean, not really doing, just really sort of like I was partying a bit, and just trying to like I just didn't know what I was going to do. I was just sort of just getting by sort of thing, and then it wasn't until one of the guys I was living with, I just had a chat with his parents one night. And they're like, oh, have you spoken to your parents since, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah. I'm like, oh, I think maybe you should. And I did, and then...
So you hadn't spoken to your parents for 6 to 8 months?
Yeah, 6 to 8 months.
So obviously they would have tried to get in contact with you, or...?
I don't know. They said they did. I don't know. There's a lot of...
This is the point. Was there even mobiles and shit?
Yeah, like Nokias and shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spoke to him, and we had a sort of like a D&M, and then I remember... The next morning I rang him up, and it was really weird, dude. Like I moved back literally 2 days later, back to their house on the Gold Coast. And like, it was almost like nothing had ever happened. I just moved back in. It was like back to a family.
Yeah.
We didn't chat about anything, nothing. It was just really like weird.
Well, you didn't speak about it?
Nah, yeah. I think we were both like, didn't want to speak about it. Like I hadn't really, accepted all and vouched it all myself. And I was at that stage, just like, I just want to go to the army and get away and be, like another outlet for me, or another family in a sense. That's why I joined the army. I was just like, hopefully they'll look after me like a family sort of thing.
At this stage, had you tried to get in contact with your father?
Nah. So I literally at this stage, I was just like, I want to get away from everyone, like I was, but not in that situation, hanging around with the wrong guys, flicking gear, all that sort of shit. Like I was in the wrong crowd.
Well, that's pretty good of you to even realise that you're in the wrong situation, because I know when I was 17, I I would have thought that was the good situation, going around doing drugs and all that shit.
Yeah.
So that's good that you realise that. And
Yeah, well, I
able
did.
to put yourself aside.
Yeah, I did. I was obviously hanging around with that crowd and group for a bit, and I saw obviously how the older guys were treating the younger guys and getting them, getting them on tick and hooked on the shit, and now they owe them for the rest of their lives. They've got to do that all that shit for them, and I sort of saw that straight from the bat, and I was just like very did my bit, but I was just very like. Third, like an outsider in it, because I was like, I don't want to get involved too deep with that. So I want to be able to just pull myself out if I need to.
Yeah.
Which I did. But what sort of like led to that moment was we got in a bit of trouble, and like no convictions or anything. But one of the cops, he sort of pulled me aside and he's like, hey dude, like you seem like a good kid. You're not like the rest of those guys. They're stuck and they're going to be in here. You can tell you're not like that. He's like, have you thought of the army, police, blah blah blah. And then that sort of was like led me to the army as well. After sort of chatting to him. And
what did you end up getting caught with drugs or something?
It was at a party, and it was like a lot of people got stung at this party.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of guys that I was just happened to be one of the lucky ones that night who didn't have anything on me, or what I mean, I was level headed. I wasn't off my face or anything, so I could actually hold a conversation, and I sort of like. Got myself out of a bad situation. Yeah. But yeah, he just sort of said, like, you can either keep hanging around and doing this sort of shit with these people, or you can fuck off over there and, sort yourself out. And that's what I decided to do.
So the conversation obviously resonated with you and listened a little bit.
Yeah. So, and he didn't need to do that. So, like, shout out to him. Like, he was, that's pretty solid of him. Yeah. So that's when I was just like, all right, the army thing that I touched base on, we're going to make that happen. I'm just going to get the fuck out of here.
Back in Darwin.
Yeah. So that's when I rang my parents, moved home, stay with them for a bit, and then as soon as I could go to the army, I was in the army within sort of 6 to 8 months, which is quite quick. Yeah. And then I did the whole thing. So Kapuka down in Wagga, which is your initial training.
So how does the process even work? Like, how do you choose, like, what department you go in?
So I originally wanted to be cop, fiery, or something like that, or PT or something. But that was like a 2 to 3 year turnaround. Yeah. So I was like, all right, what's going to get me in the quickest? And they're like, all right, if at the moment we've got Cav and truckie or a driver, you're going to be in within 6 to 8 months, and then you can always change down the track. Yeah. Like they made it like an easy.
What's Cav?
Cav is like tanks. So the only reason I didn't go tanks is because I'm claustrophobic.
Is that what it's short for?
Yeah. So the only reason I didn't go tanky is because I'm claustrophobic as fuck. So I was like, I'm not I'm not being one of those fuckers. So I got into transport, and I always had the intention after my 2 years or whatnot to transfer, but it's not as easy. They make it sound all rainbows and stuff when you're getting in, and then when you're actually there, it's not as easy to do that. Yeah, because there's a million other people that they've told that get in before you, or for whatever.
Yeah, they have their own. It's like they have their own fucking little rules and system and shit in there. Like,
well, it's government, dude. It's the biggest fucking corrupt agency in the world. Yeah. So that's how I came to find that out. Like, they think like all these shit-kicker drug dealers, or whatever in everyday society are the bad cunts, whereas really government's fucking the worst out of all of them.
Yeah, they've got control of everything.
And I saw that firsthand going through the military.
Yeah, so what were you doing in there? Did you get to fucking shoot some guns and shit? Or?
Yeah. So I mean, it's not as fun as it seems. Yeah. Like I honestly thought I was going to go in and it was going to be like fucking push-ups. You'd be punching them with all the boys you didn't like really like that brotherhood sort of shit. Yeah. Was like that, but it's sort of, from what I heard from all the old heads and stuff, when I actually got in, that sort of shit sort of started to cut away when I think it was around sort of like 06, 08, Iraq and Afghanistan and whatnot. Yeah. And obviously the introduction, predominantly like more women into the forces as well. So, it's got to be a bit more, it's got to be a bit different, obviously. So a lot of things like, I remember.
Was there not really any women at all?
I think they've always been in like nursing roles and, but like coming in more into combat roles and stuff now. Yeah. So you've got to obviously level it out for everyone. So like, I remember when I was in Kapuka, I thought, which is your initial, like you're straight off the bat 3-month training. To like, you've got to pass that to even get do your...
So what's entailed in that?
So that's pretty much just like, pretty much from 6 a.m. till about 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
They just own you and just like, they don't treat you like shit, but they treat you like shit in a sense as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's what they want you to do when they want you to do it. They'd wake you up in the morning and like yelling at you, like all that sort of shit you see in movies. Like it is like
the,
that.
SAS sort of thing.
Nowhere near as bad as that, but it is like that. Like I remember you wake up in the morning and they're going through your lockers and throwing all your shit everywhere. You got to put it back, like just fucking with you.
Yeah.
Just trying to break. They're trying to break you pretty much. And I was the youngest guy in my 45 platoon, Echo I think it was 45 platoon. So I was all guys, and I was the youngest one. So they really like at the early stages, and even predominantly throughout, they would always they were trying to break me.
Yeah.
And like I remember there was times that like I was crying to myself, or like I had one guy that was like sort of took me under his wing. Nigel Tassani's his name actually, big Maori boy. Yeah. And I remember he heard me and saw me crying one night, and he sort of like was like I guess a bigger brother for me sort of thing, and he really like looked after me and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much just them trying to sort of break you.
So who can last and who can't?
Yeah, and like it was funny, dude. Like it was like I remember on the bus to like the bus to Kapuka, there was all these grown men, like big tough cunts and shit, like, oh, this is gonna be easy, blah blah. Within like 2 weeks, within the first month, they're all fucking crying, going home, like they just couldn't pop it. But as I said, like once I commit to something, I see it through. So no matter how shit I felt or whatnot, I saw it through. Yeah. And like I got into it throughout my whole army career. I was always in trouble. Like I fucking, just punching on with guys in the fucking the toilets and all that sort of shit. Like, because my mum was a model back in the day.
Yeah.
So it was funny. Like guys would I didn't put a photo up of my mum, but obviously all the boys found out my mum was a model, and they're like, oh, MILF, blah blah, all this shit. And there was this one other guy that was just like really just like bullying me. And I was like, fuck this cunt. So I remember like I was in the toilets one night, like midnight, and I just waited for, because everyone eventually has to go take a piss. So I just waited for him and kicked the shit out of him in these toilets, knocked him clean out, woke up. So the next morning we all woke up to them yelling at us, and we're all standing at attention. They're like, what the fuck happened to Private blah blah blah? We found him fucking knocked out cold in the toilet. And I'm just there, they're like smiling. He didn't fucking snitch on me, thank fuck.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure he didn't do nothing after that either.
Nah, right towards the end actually, he fucking tried to we're pack marching up this big cliff face sort of thing.
Yeah.
We were holding weapons and shit, not loaded, just going through the motions, training. And he was chanting something about my mum. And I was like, fuck this cunt. I dropped my gun. I just ran over to the other side and just pushed him off this cliff face. This cunt's rolled down, got fucked up. I got in so much trouble for it.
Yeah, I was about to say, what do they do if it's shit like that happen? Do they let some fights and stuff slide, or?
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of shit that slides. It's only really
training for fucking war combat,
exactly. It's only really if the corporals and sergeants, if they can't handle it, or your captain or your warrant officers find out, they've got to, the higher up it goes, someone's got to do something about it.
Yeah.
So if it stays low key, you're sweet. As soon as it goes up to your warrant officers and whatnot, that's
so you don't want anyone to find out about anything, really?
Yeah. So the only time I really got into a lot of trouble was when I got to my they call it IETs, which is so you do Kapuka, which is your initial training to become a soldier, and then the IETs is what you're specifically going into the military trained as, which I was a driver. So this was in Puckapunyal, and there was a local club bar thing called you're Victoria, do you know Puckapunyal?
It sounds very familiar.
It's a fucking shithole, biggest shithole I've ever been to in my life. But there was this place called the Sticky Foot.
I don't know if I've been there. I'm not sure, but I've definitely heard of it.
Sort of like Bendigo, but a bit smaller, and yeah. But yeah, there was this one night at the Sticky Foot. So we just finished our first 4-month block, which was the Rover, and then you do the Unimog, and then you graduate. Yeah. So we finished our first 4-month block, and at this stage, you can go out in the weekend, and Kapuki can't do anything. You're
How long was that?
The IETs is 8 weeks. And my IETs.
And the first training you said?
Oh, so it's broken down into 4-week blocks.
Oh, okay.
So you do the first block, and then you have a couple of days off, and then you do the next block. So we had a bit of time to go out and do that sort of shit. So I went to the Stick Foot, and there ended up there was a titty contest that night, wet shirt, water, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
And one of the local guys, his miss was up on the stage, and one of the army boys yelled out, "Oh, you fat whale," or "fuck whatever." It's been this massive all-in brawl, like civvies versus like AJs, they say.
Yeah.
Army jocks or army jerks, whatever you call us. So there would have been like probably 50 on 50 all-in brawl in this club, and that's splashed on the street.
You guys like, I've seen like, I don't even know, that's what I'm asking, but like in movies and stuff, you always see the people who are in the army, when they're on like a little bit of a break, they're always wearing their army gear and shit. Like when you guys went out, are you like still in your...
But we all had fucking zero shaved heads.
Oh, yeah.
And like we're used to walking. It's funny, like when we're walking along, we're all walking together at the same pace. So, I mean, the locals know who we are straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that obviously spilled onto the street, and then it got to like, you know what I mean? There would have been like, 200 people pretty much punching on and like arguing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I remember the cops came and spread the civvies on one side, AJs on another side, and waited for our buses to come to take us back to the barracks.
Yep.
And then I remember I was in one of the last groups and there wasn't enough buses. So they're like, all right, the cops said, you guys, and like the military police are like, you guys need to walk to this Macca's, which is just down the road. So it's like, at least there's like cameras and it's a bit safer. We can patrol it a bit better and then wait for the buses to come back and get yours. So we start walking down. I wanted to get some cash out. So I've walked down this little side alley, which I shouldn't have done, but I did anyway. And I was like, oh, I'll meet up back up with the boys and we'll keep walking. So I've gone down this like shop front side alley thing.
Yeah.
As I got halfway down, I saw there was two guys walking towards me, and I was just like, oh, like I knew they wanted trouble straight away. And so I'm walking the other way.
By yourself?
I was by myself. There was three guys. So then I just started running to the two guys. Luckily, one of the guys was a bit faster than the other guy. Yeah. So he's gotten to me a bit quicker. So he's gone to throw a dog shot. I've like sort of like tackled him, wrapped him up, and I threw him into this window, but I threw him through it.
Yeah.
And he just like the glass shattered and all this shit. I was like, fuck. Kept running. I pretty much king hit the other guy and then just took off. And it was like, didn't say a word of it to anyone, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I can't remember, I think it was my right hand. I've got like a little scar there. I reckon, so the Sunday morning, so I was Saturday night, the Sunday morning, my hand was like that, bro. Like it was fucked. It was all puffed up and infected. So what we think happened was the guy clipped his tooth and it got infected.
Yeah.
And then it's just like blown my hand right up. So then the Monday morning I couldn't...
Was he got herpes or some shit?
Yeah, fuck, I don't know, bro. So the Monday morning I couldn't start the course. I was in hospital trying to get my fucking hand all back to normal.
So you sort of had to tell him something.
So like, oh, what happened? I was like, oh, I got back to the barracks from that night and I just punched a wall in my room.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, you go down in the mornings and the... I can't remember who, I think it was the warrant officer of the barracks or whatnot, and the military police grabbed me from the class, took me into the OC's office, and the local cops were there, and they had the footage of that alleyway, what happened.
Oh,
so it was a blessing in disguise though, because I mean, it got me off clean.
Oh, because they were trying to take you.
They saw that they were trying to fucking clip me.
Yeah,
and I just,
running away.
yeah, I defended myself.
Yeah.
But pretty much what happened was the guy that I hit, that one punch I threw, shattered his cheekbone, broke his jaw, like fucked his face up, and he didn't have any, obviously, money, wanted to try and get through the army insurance.
Yeah.
So they're like, look, you're sweet, we can see you try to defend yourself. I mean, you're a fucking idiot for putting yourself in that position, but pretty much what we need to look like we've kicked you out. So they sent me back to like a holding platoon, they call it.
Yeah.
So we'll send you back there for 6 weeks and then you can come back finish.
Are you still 17 at this age, or?
No, I was 18 at this stage.
Yeah.
18 years old, yeah.
How long were you in there in total?
I did my four-year contract and just got out.
Did 4 years?
Oh, well, just shy of 4 years. I, towards the end, I got tested and I came up positive for, do you know what clenbuterol is?
Yeah.
It's a fat stripper.
Yeah.
I mean, I was fucking on a whole heap of other shit at the time anyway, they didn't pick it up. But I think actually my ex-wife tipped me off, because they don't specifically test for that.
Yeah. In
your piss test, you've got to send that away to the labs and everything. So piss came up positive for clen. They pretty much said, look, you can stay in, you've got to say, you're a naughty boy, you won't do it again, and write a letter and we can keep you in. But I wanted to get the fuck out anyway. I was like, fuck, if I would have known about this years ago, I would have fucking tested positive and got the fuck out of years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just shy of my 4 years. And it was a clean entry out. I didn't get I don't think I got a dishonorable discharge or anything. It was just like, sort of see you later. Sort of like resigning from a job that you're going to get fired from. That sort of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah. You just had like a mutual agreement sort of thing. Susie, you were there for so long. What did you get deployed anywhere or?
Nah, pretty much. That was one of the main reasons I was wanting to get out anyway, because
not much was happening.
Yeah, well, everyone was starting to come back from Iraq and Afghanistan and stuff, and it works on a tour rotation. So it just happened to be my first posting was 1 Avon up in Darwin, and at that stage we had these new Tiger helicopters that weren't deployed yet, so I wasn't going to get a posting there. Then when I came to 7 Searsby in Brisbane, they just finished their rotation. So I was wrong place, wrong time.
Oh, so you moved from Darwin to Brisbane?
Yeah, so I did 2 years up there and then a year and a half in Brizzy. So it was just wrong place, wrong time. I didn't have and it's getting a tour.
Did you want to get deployed?
Yeah, well, it's like how I always explain. It's like training for a footy match. You don't get to play it.
Yeah, and never getting to go.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't meant to be for me.
4 years is a massive part of your life as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, not massive, but for someone that young, it is a big part of your life.
Yeah.
As you were saying, you just said you had your ex-wife. So did you get married while you were in the military?
Yeah, so that's this was.
How do you even have how does that work?
This was probably the only thing to date in my life that I don't regret anything, because I wouldn't be who I am or where I am today. I've got regrets, you know what I mean? It shaped me to the man I am today. But I definitely think I wish I would have thought a lot harder about that situation. So pretty much how that happened was, I just call it it was a business arrangement, wedding type thing. So like, we'd met, she was working as a barista for my parents' cafe on the Gold Coast back in the day.
Yeah.
I'd come home. It was funny actually, like my parents were like, can't fuck our staff, you know, and me and my little brother always just like running through them. Anyway, I met her, we hooked up, and she was actually a really cool chick, and she was a bit older, so I felt like, I don't know, she was just...
This is obviously why you're still in the military.
Yeah, yeah. So I was 18, so I'd gone to Darwin, so I finished all my training, I've gone to Darwin, I'm 18 now, and I'm hating it up there because I'm fucking away from all my family and friends. The guys I'm with, aren't my sort of type of guys. It's just very, isolating. So I've come back home for a holiday at the end of the year, met her, and it's the only thing that, person I had that, I got along with and had common interests and, you know what I mean, that, I don't know, a good feeling of love or safety or something, you know what I mean? So went back up, and we pretty much, long story short, we pretty much did long distance for nearly a year, and within that year I probably only saw her maybe 2-3 weeks of the year. So I got to the stage where I was like, either you've got to come up here, I can't come down, or it's going to end.
Yeah.
So we were sort of it was heading down that way, and we're trying to think of we couldn't go de facto because we hadn't had proof of residency together for 8 months and all that sort of shit. So I was like, it was going to end. I remember going into work one day, and my corporals were all like, oh bro, you seem really down, you alright? And I was just like, explain them the situation, just get married. You get an extra 10 grand a year, she gets all the army benefits, what do you got to lose, sort of thing. And
what do you mean? Do you get paid extra for having a wife?
Well, because you've got to,
family.
because I was in Darwin living away allowances, and she got all the army medical, and you get flights every year. So because you got a family now, you've got a certain amount of flights back and forth, which is it was about $5,000-$10,000. There's all these benefits, but you got paid just an extra 10. They just gave you an extra 10 grand a year because you've got a family now. They want you to establish a family and not be out partying all weekend and getting in trouble. They want you to have a family and be a bit more you know, insecure and stuff. So they encourage all that sort of stuff, especially for a young guy like me.
Yeah.
So I remember talking to her about it, and then we're just she was more into it than I was. I was just well, how can we just let this keep going for a bit more and see how it was?
Yeah.
Whereas she was oh yeah, nah, let's do this. So we did it. I actually...
Did you just have a wedding, or was it just a sign?
We had a wedding on the
papers?
Gold Coast in Burley Hill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we were together for a year, married after a year and a half.
Yeah.
But as I said, it was I tried to pull out a couple of times. I feel like this is wrong.
Yeah.
Because I still really, to this day, I still really value marriage and you know what I mean, everything that comes with it. I think it's a beautiful, special thing. And I sort of that's what I'm a bit dirty on myself about. I sort of took the piss out of marriage.
Yeah.
That's what I really don't like about it. So that's why I tried to pull out a couple of times. She's like, no, we've already, we're paying for this, everyone knows, we've got to do it. And I was just okay. And we got married, and it was all fine. There was no issues. It was literally the day after we woke up from getting married, completely different person.
She was.
Fucking weird, bro. Like,
So, by the sounds of it, she was doing it for certain reasons.
Her own reasons. I mean, she had her own
How much older was she than you?
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But she'd had like her own shit happen that was pretty fucking heavy. So I was like, I think she met me. Like, she was dating one of the head bikies before, which I fucking didn't know about until I got too far. She's like, oh, by the way. And I was like, oh, thanks for now telling me.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I mean, I wasn't going to fucking judge her on that. Like,
you both needed each other at the same time.
Yeah.
But you just didn't need to get married.
Yeah. But she literally just went like straight into wife mode. So like, I mean, it sounds fucking a bit shallow, I guess, but fuck, I'm just being honest. Like, she like stopped looking after herself, stopped going to the gym. We'd go out to dinner, she'd be wearing trackies and like, cunt, we're fucking, young. We should be like, living up and, you know what I mean? So she's turned into like mum mode sort of thing. We didn't even have kids or anything.
Yeah.
So then it's just progressively got a lot worse. And I stayed with her for we were in total together for about 3 years. I stayed with her for a lot longer than I probably wanted to or should, but it was more so for her sanity. Like,
so you're in the military the whole relationship?
Yeah.
And you was divorced while you're still in the military?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. When was the line drawn?
The line for me was two things. One, pretty much since we got married, she stopped working. I was paying for everything, which I didn't care about. Like, I was earning decent money for our age anyway, so it didn't bother me.
Absolutely.
But like, that was another thing. Like, I'm paying for it. Like, we don't have kids, and you're staying home. Like, you should be going to the gym and like fucking.
Yeah, just let herself go.
Yeah, I was just like, anyway. So what did you say?
I was just saying.
What were the lines?
Yeah, where did you draw the line of the way?
So I remember. I think I was looking at maybe getting a house or something to do with a loan. So I've gone to the banks to find out about our financials. I couldn't touch anything. So everything was in her name, and I needed her signature to touch my money.
Oh,
and I was like,
that's just part of marriage.
Yeah, but like, you think your partner's just gonna have you back, and like, I remember signing the paper, but I didn't know. It's like, oh, she can, I'm working, doing all this shit. Like, you just look after the money. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So then when I've gone to have a look, I couldn't even get my own money out. I had to get her signature and approval and all this shit. And I was like, you fucking serious? So that was like, for one, that was the first one for me. And the next one was
she just going on shopping sprees and shit?
No, she wasn't spending money or anything. Like, she wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, she'd just buy random shit, but like nothing crazy. But it was just more so the fact that like,
way too much control.
Yeah, she controlled it all. I didn't have, you know what I mean? She could have drained everything, and I couldn't have done shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably could have gone, to court and all that, but you lose fucking all your money anyway.
Yeah,
so
it's just a hassle.
Yeah. So that, and then I remember one night, I overheard her to one of her best friends at the time, and she was saying, like, we sort of towards the end we stopped sleeping together because I just, I didn't want anything.
Find her attractive.
Yeah, I didn't want anything to do with it really. And I remember hearing her say, her friend was like, get off the pill, get pregnant, then like that's how I saved my marriage. And I was like, you fucking like,
yeah.
I was like, fuck this. So then it was like literally a week later,
she obviously wasn't in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I definitely feel like there was love there from her end, but like it was convenient. It was very convenient. It was an easier way for her as well.
Yeah, you're nearly like a sugar daddy, but you're only 18 years old.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it's pretty shit on her behalf.
Yeah.
So obviously, you're divorced, and then did you have to like pay her out, or? So
I pretty much.
How does it work?
I just gave.
Been in the army.
We didn't have any houses or anything. That's thank fuck.
Yeah.
Didn't have any of that sort of shit. I pretty much just our bank account. I split it in half, and I gave her a little bit more, just so, you know what I mean. I could always hold my head high. I did the right thing by her. Blah blah, all that sort of shit. Gave her all the furniture, pretty much anything she wanted. Said I just wanted it out of my life. I didn't want anything to do with her.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do you want? Blah blah. Done. See you later. It sort of went through like a bit of a 2-3 month period of like, she was so upset. No, we got to make this work. To I fucking hate you. To I'm going to commit suicide. You got to take me back. Like just this roller coaster of shit.
Yeah.
She'd just rock up at my house some nights and all that sort of shit. And then I was like, this has got to fucking stop. So then I just, because I wanted to be there for her in a, like.
Did you ever like really speak about like why she wanted this relationship so much?
Nah, dude, I just wanted to fuck. I couldn't even bother, bro.
Yeah.
I just I just want you away from me.
Yeah.
So I didn't really even sort of give her the time of day, to be honest. Once I'm done, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need to hear it anyway. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that's going on
You already
here.
know she's in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, probably going to be bullshit, whatever she tells
Yeah,
you.
exactly. And as I said, like, stemming from my mum and that whole situation with, like, my stepfather and real father, like, I already had mad trust issues
Yeah, I can imagine.
with women in particular from that. And then it was
Yeah,
like
it's a
just
bad
reassurance
start.
again.
It's a bad start.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much it sort of just fizzled out altogether because I turned my phone off to her pretty much. I was trying to be there for her because she was saying she's going to commit suicide. So I wanted, I didn't want that on my head or anything. So I was trying to be there for as much as I could, but I was like, I need to look after myself now.
There.
Yeah. So then I just cut her off, and then it wasn't until like 8 months later I'd met my ex, who we were together for like, in 6 years, and she was a great girl. Like, I've got mad respect and love for her and her family. They were always really good people to me. It just, we fell in love. It wasn't meant to be for us. We weren't the right people for each other.
When you're in the army, were you getting engaged with any girls like up there? Like, was there, I don't know, like when you had a couple of day break, or could you go out at night and like, did you?
Nah, I've always been like, I've been cheated on before.
Yeah.
And as I said, like, I've always had mad trust issues. So I've always been like, I'm never going to be that guy and put that out there because I don't want that. Yeah. So I've always been like that. Like, I'm super loyal and respectful to people. Never.
I just know at that age, it would have been difficult. Like, if something did arise and obviously she's back there, you fucking hate her, obviously you sound like you fucking had your head screwed on pretty fucking early after all the fucking shit you've gone through.
Yeah.
So once you've left the army, where did your career go from there?
So I got out, I moved back to the Gold Coast, and was just sort of like bouncing around for a bit, just like, I just sort of wanted to like, I had a bit of money put away, so just like, fuck, I'm just going to live it up for a little bit. Because I'd never had like a gap year or, everyone sort of has that after high school. Yeah. Normally, like, so I never really
So how old were you when you finished the army? 22?
21.
Yeah.
Just after, 21, 22, around there. So I moved back to the Gold Coast, just bouncing around for a bit, like just some random jobs, bits and pieces here and there. My next sort of like, I guess, and going to like all the festivals and just that sort of shit, just chilling out.
So you did have like a gap year?
Not a gap year, but like maybe 6 months.
Yeah, we were just partying.
Yeah, and just like not crazy, but like I was still working. Just
enjoying life.
Yeah, just enjoying life. I was back on the Goldie, my friends were here, so like,
yeah, I'm sure. Imagine after being the military for that long, you'd have been fucking raring just to live life.
Yeah,
100%. Had you started surfing and stuff then?
I'd always been more bodyboarding.
Yeah,
but like yes and no, like little bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just sort of just cruising around, and then career-wise, I went to EMF, their big gym franchise on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So I was just working there. I got up to like a supervisor sort of management role with them. I was there for 4 years, and then that's when sort of COVID happened, and I really had to like evaluate what I was going to do, because obviously we couldn't work at the gyms or anything. I didn't want to be one of those cunts that was just fucking relying on the dole to get by.
Yeah.
So that's what got me right back into. I'd always been topless waitering and like stripping sort of shit as well on the side. Yeah. But that's what got me right in and back into that line of work. And then that's obviously.
How did you even get into the like topless waitering and stuff like that? It's like it's not obviously not the most normal thing to do, or a normal job that you just go and apply for. Yeah,
well, as I said, my mum used to be a model, and I'd done a little bit of modelling with her, like me and my little brother with her in little campaigns growing up.
Yeah.
So when it got to an age where like, oh, you guys might actually be able to model, like you're getting older, a bit more mature and whatnot, she took us into a modelling agency that she used to work for, Dally M's, which was like a really good modelling agency back in the day.
Yeah.
And we went and had sort of like, had a chat with them, photos, all that sort of shit, and they were just like, with me in particular, like, one, you're not tall enough, back, like I'm 6 foot, you've got to be like 6'2", 6'4" at bare minimal. And I just didn't have that model sort of look. Like face-wise maybe, but body-wise I'm like a solid sort of dude. Yeah. And I had tats back then. Back then tats weren't, you know what I mean?
That's what, I've actually went into this, I actually got pulled into this modelling agency, and this dude, because I was supposedly like the perfect, like I was tall, I was like 6'2", I was skinny, like had pretty face. Yeah. But I did, like I went in, I remember the first time this weird as looking dude like come up to me in the street, bro, and he's like some Asian dude with like real long like straightened hair, like looked real fancy, and I was like, I thought he was just like some gay dude like trying to hit on me, and he's like come up to my joint and pretty much like let me check you out, and I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. But he was like offering some like pretty like gnarly money and like opportunity and shit. So I went up there, and I actually went with another friend as well, but he was a lot short. He's even shorter than you, so he pretty much got culled straight away. But dude like brought me into his house straight away. I knew this dude was filthy rich, and I was like, oh yeah, I might have something here. And then he made me like take my clothes off and shit, which is like, I was like still a bit unsure of this dude, like, but he was actually like really professional. And then like he was showing me like his portfolio of all these people that he'd done, like done famous people and stuff like that.
So he was a photographer?
He was like a model. He had a model agency, so like
gotcha.
He just like pimped out all these dudes to, so he knew the photographers and all that, so he'd be like, oh, you go do this, you go do this. And I remember I did like 2 things, and I was just like, I feel awkward as fuck. Like, I probably could have like forced myself into it and like to get used to it, but I don't know, it's just not me. Like I felt too awkward to do it. So I never ended up doing it. I did one thing, I got paid for it and shit, but even like I got paid, I was just like, nah, can't do this.
It's a different
that's why even when you offered, like you were saying when I first moved up here, like I could probably do some topless waitering and stuff with you, and I was like, I seriously like considered it, and then I was like, I don't know, I just don't feel I don't know, I just don't have that confidence in myself, I don't think.
I don't even think like I see you as a confident person, but it's like I'm very flamboyant as well. Is so like in the sense like, I mean, you probably haven't seen it as much, but like when I'm out and about, like, dude, so many people think I'm fucking gay. Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean. My best friend Busy is exactly the same.
So like that maybe like I don't see the confident side of things. Maybe you just haven't like there's like the flamboyant side of things.
I'm just shy until I get to know someone. Like
but yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I was just asking how you got into the stripping.
So obviously that happened with Dallies, but they said to me, they're like, you're not the right look and stuff for us, but have you ever thought of maybe topless waitering or campaign work stripping? Like, you'd be a good look for that, you'd probably do really well. And I sort of left it, I didn't touch base with it. And then it wasn't until like a year or 2 later, like I was like 17 or 18, I can't remember if it was just before the army or when I was in the army that I did this. My mates at the time entered me in at the like our gym that we were training at. They entered me into like this ladies' night catwalk thing. So without me knowing, they took me I was thinking it was like a uni night and we were just going to pick up chicks or something. So we've rocked up, and the people who were running the night came up to me like, oh, you're Sebastian? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, we'll get you backstage. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I was pretty much then in my underwear and I was walking down this catwalk.
Oh, it was a ladies' catwalk.
No, it was from ladies' night for men.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, so there's all these random chicks, and I was like, oh,
what the
yeah, so I just did it. Anyway, I ended up winning it, and I got like, you know,
was it legit just like you just strutting down there and just walk back? Yeah,
and won a couple $1,000 a year contract with a modelling agency, stripping agency sort of type thing, which I did a little bit of work for. But then I met the people in that agency. That's what got me into topless waitering at the start, and then stripping down the track. But I wouldn't say like was right. Like, I'd done stripping over the years, but it wasn't until sort of COVID, which I was like, I saw the potential there and the money.
Yeah, to sort of have a business.
Fuck, yeah, I'm going to get into this.
Yeah.
And that was also by just people. Like, the first good gig I got for stripping was at a show I did at the Pink Flamingo on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So like I've got a lot of like chick friends and like gay friends and stuff because they're all in that dancing industry and whatnot. So they're obviously always hanging around those type of people. And I was just just having a good night. Pink Monkey, I think it was one night, just dancing and stuff. And this gay couple came up to me who owned this agency for dancers and stuff. And they're like, oh, we've got this show coming up at the Pink Flamingo. We're doing we need a naughty Santa. Like, you can move, like you got a good look. Would you be interested? And then one of my girlfriends, Carly, she's like, oh yeah, nah, you'd be so good, blah, you should do it. And then I sort of did it, and it just sort of took off from there. And then
you obviously enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, like I love, like, I mean, it's pretty cool, like with all the shit that goes on in the world, like to be able to perform in front of, you know what I mean, 100 up to 500 people and see people smiling and having a good time. Like that's to me what life's about. Like all the shit that goes on, like you're helping people, it's an outlet for them and they're having a good time. So that's what I really like about it. Yeah. And like the bigger audiences I get, like that makes me more confident and more like want to put on a show. Like it's good fun.
But yeah, what I could imagine it being pretty scary. Like, what's the biggest crowd you reckon?
Probably around 400 or 500.
Yeah, and what you just straight smashed it?
I love it.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear when it's like, you know what I mean, hens parties or
got a bit of a 50, child walking down.
Yeah, 50 people. I'm just like, I can't even really be bothered like anymore. I'm just like, I'll do my thing and get out.
Now that you've had the bigger bit, you don't want to go back.
And now when I do the bigger shows, like when they're like, all right, we've got 300 night, 400, whatever, I'm like, fuck yes. And all the other boys are like freaking out. And I'm just like, nah, I love this shit.
Yeah. And not only that, fuck, I've just forgotten what I was going to say. Fuck. I don't know what I was just going to say. I've completely just got a mental blank. Fuck, what was I thinking?
Big crowds. What are you getting out of it?
I don't know. I'm a fucking
I'll let you regrew. I can tell you a funny story, actually. Yeah. So I'm sure you want to hear some fucking stripper stories.
Yeah.
So I've got, I reckon out of all of them, this one's like just one that I'll always remember because I won't say his name because I don't want to fucking embarrass him, but he was a mate of mine, so that's why it's really stuck with me. Yeah. So this would have been back when I was like 20, 21. I was still quite new. And back then I had this, when I was in the army, when I had the money, I bought a SS ute, and I fucking loved this ute. I kitted it out, it was really nice. Anyway, we went to like the back of Mount Tambourine. There's like this old bikie's house. It's a mansion, huge. So we had this job there. Yeah. Anyway, when we got there, we had to drive all the way down this like grass footpathy road thing to where all the cars were parked. There's a mansion, this place, huge. Parked down the bottom there, went in, we're doing the job. Old mate was like, oh, we'll just call him Steve. Steve was like, oh, I'm going to get on it tonight. He used to flick gear and shit back then. And he's like, you can just be like, because I was younger, he was a bit old. He's like, you're like my little bitch for the night. You're the desert driver. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, bro. Like, I was just happy to be like, I was single then. I was like being around chicks and like having a good time. I was like, fuck yeah, I don't care. Like, whatever. I would have been doing the job for free because I just like, it was fun. Anyway, so I take him along. We're there. It was just waitering for 4 hours. So waitering, before he even got there, bro, he's fucking tanked.
Is this like a pretty normal thing for like strippers and all this to be sort of fucked up a lot?
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah. All the time.
So a lot of people would just pretty much.
Yeah.
It's not in
bro. Every show, every. Oh, not like more like chicks get on the bag and shit. So like every show, every hens party I do, like chicks like, oh, do you want a bump or you want some bud or whatever. So like I'll always have a little bit here and there. Like nothing too crazy. Yeah. But yeah, like if it's there, fuck, I'm gonna have it. Yeah,
but I mean, like that, even like the other lads, like they like get into it pretty.
Oh yeah, bro. Like it's one of those jobs like when you're single in it and you can really take advantage of the job. Yeah. You really have a good time. Yeah, bro. Like you can fucking go all out, which I have done when I've been single. Yeah. But then on the contrary, when you're, predominantly most of the time I've been doing this line of work, I've been in a serious relationship, so it's just work for me. I'm there for the money. That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's good fun. It's a cruisy job, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm like, well, as I said, with the women in my life, like I'm loyal to the bone, and like my girl who I'm with now, Shani, like I fucking absolutely adore her, and like I've only got eyes for her. So Like,
I was going to ask about that, but considering everything else that you said, it's pretty obvious that she would obviously trust you with everything that you do.
Well, it's like one thing I always try to explain to people, because like everyone's always like, oh, how do you have a girlfriend and do this line of work, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, one, I think my girl is the most beautiful girl in the world, and I fucking absolutely adore her. Like, I wouldn't train her for anything. You know what I mean? Yep. I could have 10 chicks right now rock up. I just fucking want to suck me off. I don't care, because what I've got with her, bro, I've never had that connection with anything or anyone in my life for, and that's like, I fucking love her, and just
that's good.
I can't
you
even explain.
That, bro. You've had some fucked up experiences, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah, so like, and when I explain that, because a lot of the chicks ask, like, obviously when I get to a job, how old are you? Do you have a partner? Blah blah. And when I explain it like that, they're like, oh fuck, like you're actually like a solid dude. Like that's pretty cool.
And that's why it's good. People be able to know now. The people that watch this will know like your story, and they'll know that. You're not in it to be a sleaze bag. You're in it just for because you really enjoy doing it, and obviously for the money.
Yeah.
But I just remembered what I was going to say about before as well. Is because of how big these shows are and stuff. Pretty much every time you get someone in, they're going to be there pretty much just a one-off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like a thing that happens like all the time. So every time you're going to a different place. So each time you are given a new experience to new people.
Yeah,
and
that
they
is
are,
correct.
like you said, everyone's smiling, everyone's loving it. This might be like a ladies' only night for the year that they really get to go out, and like you said, you really want to show them a good time. So,
well, that was going to be one of my sort of next thing I was going to say. Like, apart from the money and like that sort of thing, like another real like personal reason why I like to do it is like, you go to a lot of these towns and whatnot, and there's, you know, what I mean, as you said, chicks that. In country towns, bro, they don't go out. They don't get these nights out. You know what I mean? And that sort of stuff. Or like, you might have someone like who's in a wheelchair, or someone like you can pick the chicks out in the crowd that aren't very confident, or that sort of thing, right?
You try aim.
Yeah. So like, I'll always go for those types of chicks to like, you know what I mean? Give them a little cuddle, like kiss on the cheek, get a photo with them, bro. And like, they'll message me like a week later, like, oh, you made me feel so beautiful. Like, I really appreciate it. And like I'm making someone else just feel good about themselves. Like that to me, make like, I get goosebumps just saying it now. Like that makes me feel, male or female, like I do gay bucks parties the whole lot. If I can make people feel good and happy about themselves, like that's fucking cool and special. So that's a big thing I get out of it as well.
There's that is really special, and you obviously just go ham. You just go everywhere, do anything. Like you said, you do gay ones, you do girls, you do fucking ones in bumfuck in the middle of nowhere. Why is that? Is that just because that's just where the work is, or you like traveling around?
Well, like,
because you're interstate as well. Obviously, you're traveling like away every weekend.
Yeah, I feel like obviously number one reason I go where the money is, like, because I want to fucking get ahead in life, and for me at this stage of my life, from what I know and what's around me, and obviously, I mean, it's fucking, you know what I mean? I've been in the army. I've done 9 to 5 work before. Yeah. At the moment, dude, I do a Friday or a Saturday night, and I'm getting, I mean, triple what I used to make in a week. Yeah. And I spend the rest of the week surfing, fucking, you know what I mean, doing whatever the fuck I want. Like, I'm actually, the last 2-3 years, I can really say I'm enjoying and loving life, because it's on my own terms now. You know what I mean? I do what I want when I want. Yeah, I can say that. I'm like honestly jealous sometimes, like, because, you know, I'm fucking hustling, and I come down here training, and I'm like, what do you do today? Like, I went for a surf and shit, and I'm like, fuck. Yeah. I've been fucking lifting bricks all day. Yeah. But nah, I'm fucking, that's good, bro. I'm proud of you for that. Yeah. But I'd say, like, reason I'm so, and a lot of guys aren't comfortable doing gay guys, you know what I mean? Maybe not attractive women or bigger women, whatever. Like, it's at the end of the day, like, I'm an entertainer. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying, as I said, I'm not there to get off. I'm not there to try and fucking, you know, get a hard on or something. Yeah, it's a job for me. Why am I going to, you know what I mean, I'm not going to do those type of people. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, I'm not stripping for someone who's black, not stripping for someone who's overweight. Like, everyone's paying me and want to have a good time, and I want to make them have a good time and feel special. So that's what it is for me. Yeah. Like, obviously, like... Well, people that probably do that, they're obviously just fucking either racist, or they're just got something against someone for something, like... Yeah. Obviously, and I feel like it's just elevated me. I get so much more work from it, just because, I mean, it's not me trying to, like, I'm being myself. I'm being, like, I don't care if I give a gay guy a lap dance. Like, it doesn't fucking bother me. Like, it's a bit awkward if they get a hard on sometimes, but like, I just look
So
past
that's
that.
obviously happens.
Yeah, it happens. But fuck, dude, as I said, like,
As long as he doesn't got trackies on.
yeah. But yeah, as I said, like, I don't know, I've always just looked at it like that. And I feel like as well, for my missus to feel comfortable with me doing this line of work, if I was always just doing fucking fitties, like good looking chicks, she'd be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
like you're chasing.
Yeah, she knows I'm fucking not there trying to pick up.
Yeah.
I'm there to entertain and make money and, you know what I mean, give us a better life down the track.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing as well. Like as I said, like communication with her, like after every show, after every job, my missus, if she wants to ask, she'll pick my brain about everything if she wants to, and I'm open and honest about it because I got nothing to hide, you know what I mean? And she knows that. She loves like hearing the stories and all the funny shit that goes on. But another thing I always like to mention to people, and what I said to her at the start when we obviously first started seeing each other and whatnot, is look at it in the fact that, you know what I mean, celebrities, movie stars, right? They're getting on camera and hooking up and pretty much fucking nearly on screen. Everyone sees it.
Yeah.
So like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a big, and when I say that to people, they're always like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I was like, if you're there to, you know, get something out of it that's shady, then you shouldn't be for you. But if you're there just because it's a job, that's it.
That's what some people could get. Have you ever experienced that? Like, ever had to work with anybody that was maybe getting a bit creepy or like? Oh,
bro, all the time. And that's another reason why I get so much work. I reckon.
You seem like you are very professional.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 jobs, I reckon, like that I work with other guys. You do like duo shows or whatever, or like I'll refer other guys that I can't do jobs because they'll hit me up through my OnlyFans or Instagram.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh no, that guy's fucking, he's creeper, like we've had him for this, or that guy's weird, like dude.
Word gets around quick.
Yeah, especially on the Gold Coast, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why I get a lot of work as well, because I'm just I'm professional about it, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not about me this night, it's about the hen or whoever's birthday it is. It's about them and making their night elevated and good. So
that's good you can realise that, because that obviously makes their night a lot better. And as you said, you got an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
What's the go with that?
Well, that was...
What do you got going on there?
Nothing too crazy, bro. Like, it's more sort of just like, I guess...
Another way to make money.
Yeah, it was just another avenue to make a bit of extra cash, and I have. So, you know what I mean? Originally, I was...
What sort of stuff's on there? Like,
it's fucking...
Is it you have to sign up to fucking find out?
Yeah, pretty much. I can tell you some, like... Originally,
you don't do anything with your missus on there?
No.
She's not into that.
Oh, she's a school teacher, so if that got out, she probably lose a job.
Yeah.
But no, bro, we fucking, I mean, me and her, we make sex tapes and like, but I don't know, I want to keep it for us.
Personal, yeah.
Yeah, like, as I said, like, I feel like what we've got's very special and intimate between us, and you know what I mean? Maybe, you know what I mean, down the track or something, I don't know, but I won't say no, but it's on her. Yeah, like it would always be, you know what I mean? If she came forward and she's like, oh, that's fucking, you know what I mean? Who knows? We could put a sex tape out and might make fucking $1 million. Like, I'd be open to that. So it just depends where we're at in life and sort of. Yeah. But at this stage, it's more just like, bro, I started doing just like random funny shit when I first got it. So originally why I got it was, a couple of seasons ago, I got hit up for Love Island, potential for Love Island, and I was just like, fuck, if I go on that and get a big Instagram following and I've got OnlyFans, because I know a couple of people that have done that.
Be a bit of a fucking joke going on there though. Like,
bro, I wasn't going on there. None of those cunts go on there to find love. You go on there to fucking elevate your Instagram, or, you know what I mean, your avenues where you're making money. Yeah. Like, you think you go on there.
I couldn't even stand being on there. I would end up fighting someone for sure.
But as I said, bro, it just depends what you're going on there for. Like, majority of them are going on there to get off with 50, 100,000 K followers. You got that. They all want to go on your OnlyFans. They're paying $10 a month, bro. It's a bit of coin.
Like, I completely understand it, but I just don't even have those morals. Like, I'd rather work my fucking ass off than do that. And that's why you see people, like, your people's Instagrams, it's like, they got like in their bio, like Maths season 2, which was probably like 10 seasons ago.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's
why the fuck you still got that on there? I'm like, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. But I was like, all right.
So did you say you got invited to go on there?
So I went on a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, like stand-in work during COVID.
Yeah, what do you mean standing?
So they'll get a group of people to go do Celebrity
That's
Get
like
Me Out
Survivor,
of Here.
yeah, sorry. Is where they get them, the people
Yeah,
on
you do
island?
like little challenges and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. But like a funnier version.
Yeah,
It's not, like,
I do
serious.
remember, like who was on there? I remember it was like Shane Warne or something was on there.
Yeah. So it's like shit like they'll get you to put a hand in with spiders and you got to grab a key or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I, through like my girlfriend, like close girlfriend stuff again, another guy who works for Channel 10 or 9 or whatever, like heavily, was like, oh, I'm looking for cast for Love Island. Do you know anyone? They're like, oh, Sebastian, he's just like newly single. Oh, he'd fucking be like, he's a funny cunt. He'd be good at that. So then he hit me up. It's like, oh, I've got Celebrity Get Me Out of Here coming up, stand-in work. So they pretty much just put us in there to do it, to test everything, and then they get the real celebrities to go in to do it. But it's all filmed and everything.
Oh, so you done it?
Yeah, so I did all their shit before they did it.
True.
And like, dude, it was fucking like, I did 2-3 weeks work of work. I didn't even work. I probably worked maybe like half a day. The rest of the time I was in quarantine in a hotel eating Uber Eats and watching Netflix. I got paid like 10 grand.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
How did you even like?
Well, that's what I mean. Through my friends, like he hit me up for Love Island and was like, "Oh, this is going to be recorded. It'll be a good way to see if you're good on camera." Blah blah. And if you are, then you know, what I mean, you might not have to go through all the bullshit. We can sort of shortlist you for it.
Yeah.
So that was the plan.
Have you got that like at home somewhere? Like
what?
Have you got like a copy of that where you can like watch it?
Nah, I think
they just
Channel 9 or 10. Yeah, I mean, I probably could if I really wanted to, but.
Was it worth watching? Like, was it funny? Was it a fun experience?
Yeah. Well, they actually said, oh yeah, it was cool as. I actually got like, there's a guy on the Gold Coast. His name's his sister. I can't remember the last name. His name's David. His sister was on like one of the first Big Brothers.
Yeah.
And they call him the David now. Like he's this super queenie gay guy. Like he's funny as fuck. So I was on there with him and like another group of people, and like it was just like a bunch of random people just like meeting and just like going through challenges, and like we sort of became friends out of it in a way, like not good friends or anything, but like
where was it?
Is it just down near sort of Hinterland and Byron?
Oh yeah. Just like on what? There's a little island, or they just?
No, it was just like hinterland, like jungle shit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, So
they lied. It wasn't even on an island.
No, yeah. Well, fuck, it's TV. You know what it's all like. It's like everything on TV these days.
Oh no,
bro.
sorry, I was thinking of Love Island. No, it's called Celebrity Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah, so that, as I said, bro, I was literally, my mind frame for that was, all right, I'm going to build up an OnlyFans.
Did you have it? Obviously, you were single at this time.
Yeah, this time, yeah. I was build up an OnlyFans. And then I was like, get on Love Island, I'll get a big Instagram following, they'll all go on my OnlyFans, and fuck, I'm set.
Yeah.
That was sort of my like mind frame for it all. And then obviously I met Shani and started to fall for Shani, and I was just like, we were talking about it, like, and I was like, it got later on, I was like, fuck, what has shit kind of been like? I don't, like, she wouldn't have done the opposite. Like, why am I even thinking of this? And I just like, fuck it, nah, she's worth more than me than fucking, you know what I mean? Bit of money or whatever, like fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I got someone genuine and cool that loves me.
Well, maybe if you didn't find her, then you probably could have went ahead with that, but you did find her, and you never know, if you did do that, you could have ruined the relationship. So
100%. Was like one thing I've definitely learned in my life so far that I really value and treasure, and I don't care what anyone says, like, I think love and genuine love is the best feeling you can have in the world. You could have, you know, $1 million in the bank, whatever it is, like, and it doesn't even have to be love with another woman, like just feeling loved and having love in your life, bro. It's like nothing compares to it.
In a friend group. And
100%. Yeah, like your boys or whoever, if you've got like genuine love and they've got your back and you feel safe and secure, I would never trade like what I've got with Shani for anything in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
You could say, you know, he's $1 billion or whatever, or I'd 100% choose that any other way.
Well, I think it's like a good trait. I think that it's obviously gone around in my group, because I've never had any friend or family member in that sense that's ever like killed themselves or anything. I know it's gone a bit dark, but it goes to show that I think that we do have a very loving friendship group, because a lot of people do have friends that have gone down that path and maybe not come out of it. But my whole life, I've never really had anybody that's been one of my friends even really go down there. So that's good. Maybe it shows that we do fucking show each other a lot of love.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it's cool to see that, like, I've got my I guess 2 best friends or boys that I've, like, it's developed over, you know, in a 10-year period or whatnot. But, like, when you hear stories of, like, what you said with your boys that you've got, I'm guessing you've been, like, mates for fucking years now.
Yeah, since, like, high school.
Yeah, like that. You don't hear that often, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I sort of had that in a way. Like, I'm not jealous. I'm like, I'm so happy for you that you have that, but it's like, I'm a bit envious as well. Like, that's really cool, bro, and special, like, to hear about that sort of shit. So
yeah, well, you had a very different upbringing.
Yeah.
It's quite different. As you were saying with your mum was a model.
Yeah.
Did she try to, like, push that on you as when you were younger?
No, she just got hit up with campaigns that they needed kids as well.
Yeah.
For like I think, like, back in the day, like Oshkosh was like a kids brand, Esprit, like it's just like brands through Myer and David Jones and stuff. Like, they needed kids as well with, like, their mum. Yeah. So she's like, oh, I got 2 kids. Like, yeah, sweet. Yeah. And that sort of.
So you did do a little bit when you were younger?
Yeah, I've done a couple of, like, little campaigns when I was younger. I did one when I was older for Schick.
Yeah.
Razors, like, nothing crazy or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done little bits and pieces over the years and whatnot.
So what's the goal now with your stripping and male entertaining and stuff? Do you have like a goal or a platform you want to get to, or?
Honestly, where I'm at with it at the moment, I really want to get a house. You know what I mean? I've said before, I've always, like, that's been a goal of mine. I wanted to get my first house or property or investment, whatever. I'm definitely on track for that. It's just obviously with the market at the moment, you never gotta know when the right time is, but I'm just waiting for maybe another little dip, and then hopefully I can scoop up and get that. But that's pretty much, like, I'm getting good money, so I just want to do that until I get my house.
I'm also meant in the sense of, like, your own platform. Like, do you have any other, like, aspiring goals that you would like to kick, like, in this thing, or do you even want this? What's your end goal, really?
Yeah, well, that's my goal for this, is just to money. There's no like I mean.
Oh, I mean, like, in your, like, just like in your career, like, what? Just saying,
to
like,
do an overseas tour, would be cool.
Yeah.
Like, with a big company or something, would be pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've probably only got, you know what I mean, I don't want to be a 35-year-old fucking male stripper.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, what do you plan on doing over the next 5 to 10 years? Like, where do you want to be? Like, what do you want to be doing? Like,
honestly, bro, like,
what's your dreams?
Well, the only real, like, career-wise, I don't really have. I've always just sort of, you know what I mean, it's probably not the best way to do it, but I've always just taken things as it comes. I've always just been provided, or something's just, you know what I mean, I've been in the right place at the right time, and that's just, I've never really had, like, a career goals, like, I want to be a chippy, or, you know what I mean, whatever. Like, I've got different avenues all over the place I could probably progress, but...
Yeah, as we said in the last podcast that I'd done, like, you don't really know what you really want to do until you do it.
Yeah.
So you sort of just got to keep throwing shit at the wall until something sticks.
Yeah, like, ideally, I would like to get into, like, the property game. You know what I mean? Renting houses, flipping houses, building... Like, you know what I mean? My dad's a property developer and chippy and bricky by trade, so I'd love to, you know what I mean? I'd love to be able to build my own house one day and that sort of thing. Yeah. So that's where I can see myself down the track, I reckon, building. Yeah. But as I said, bro, like, fuck, I never thought I'd be stripping. So, you know what I mean? I guess, depends what comes my way, you know what I mean?
Just going with the flow.
Yeah, bro.
Obviously, it's working.
Yeah, so...
But with the stripping as well, I just wanted to ask one last thing. Have you ever had any, like, nasty mistakes or, like, bad things happen, like, while you're doing it?
Well, that story I was telling you before, I'll get back to that. It wasn't... There's probably only one time I've ever been, like... I was, like, shitting... Like, I was scared. Yeah. I guess, like, something bad had happened. But that story I was telling you about before at that house. Yeah. So we got in there, we were doing the job, he was fucked up, ended up disappearing with one of the chicks in this mansion. So I'm having to entertain this party. Eventually the girl's like, hey, where's this other dude? Like, we're not paying you to fucking fuck our friends. And I was just like, yeah, cool, I'll sort it out. Went downstairs. There was this bath area, and I remember walking down these stairs, and he was sitting in there, like his arms, and he's getting sucked off by this other friend. And then a couple of the chicks followed me and saw it, and then they all just blew up and got the shits. Like, nah, we're not paying him. And I was like, all good, like, I'll finish off the night for you guys. I'll do whatever you want. Like, just don't let it get back to the agency, blah, blah, blah. So I had his back the whole time. Anyway, got to the end of the night. One of the other chicks, they were fucked up by this stage, gave us all the money. They obviously, her friends wanted the other half because he didn't do his job.
Yeah.
So he just grabbed it. We just ran down to my car, got in my ute, and it was all wet and like muddy. So we're fucking driving up this fucking grass hill thing. My back tires are fucking sliding out everywhere. Then I see this big bang, and I fucking look in the back of my ute, and this big fucking like, dude, we thought it was like a fucking cow or something. It was a chick, one of the chicks from the party, hops in the back of my ute, like banging on the top of the ute. So I've just pinned it, fishtailing up this. She's like, give us back our money.
What, she's just hanging off.
Yeah, bro. And I was like to Steve, I was like, bro, just give him the fucking money, cunt. Like, she's digging my fucking car up and all this shit. And he's like, no,
you didn't even do anything.
Yeah, he's just like, kick it. Anyway, we got to the top, and she like fucking, I remember I had to like go around the mailbox, and she fell out of the mailbox, out of the tray.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck, bro, like, because I thought maybe it kept sliding and I might have hit her.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude. Anyway, we saw her get up, and I was like, cunt, threw the money out, and then we just took off.
Fuck.
But that was like...
That didn't get back to the agency?
Nah, I don't know how.
Thank God.
But yeah, the other story that's really sort of like I was fucking like... Bro, I was shitting myself. It was when I was like one of my first topless wading jobs at the Hilton in Surfers Paradise.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm just wading. I'm standing in the side of in the room in my underwear at this stage with a penis pinata, and the bride and her hens the hen and the bridesmaids are whacking this penis pinata, this stick. Anyway, here, bang, bang, bang. We thought it was just like security or something. 3 big fucking tatted up cunts come in, full patches and everything. One of them grabs his missus, goes straight into, like, throws her into the bedroom. The other two just like come up to me, like I'm up beside an open window, like out onto the balcony, like standing with this penis pinata. These 2 guys just stand in front of me, like big cunts as well. And I was like fucking 18. They're like, don't fucking move. I was like, yeah, I'm good, I'm not moving. Anyway, they're going off in this bedroom. He then comes out and goes, you fucking touch her, I'm gonna fucking throw you over that balcony, cunt. And they just walk out. And then I had to stay there for another 2 years, fucking shitting my bricks the whole time. But apparently what happened was they both said no strippers or things, topless waders. They both done it. So that got me off. Yeah. Like if he hadn't had any strippers or topless waders, bro, like could have been a very different story for me that night. So I was fucking lucky, bro. It is a sketchy job in that sense. Like you're putting yourself in a position where you don't know who they could be.
Yeah, and you don't know who those girls' boyfriends could be.
Yeah, bro. Like I've gone to jobs before and I've had just a weird feeling. I've just turned around and just didn't go. Yeah. Just because like it happens, bro. Like sure, I know. I don't know any guys, but I know a couple of chicks that have been like raped, like put on the train at a titty job or something at a hotel, and like it's fucked up, bro.
Yeah, of course, that is fucked up.
So,
yeah, I'm sure there's
some fuck. Oh, I haven't had anything. Like I've had I did one where I did a hens and bucks party. This is actually pretty funny. Hens and bucks party combined. They're actually the best ones. If anyone's going to get a fucking rather than do a hens party or a bucks party, like I want to do it with my missus, a joint one. Yeah. You have titty girls, so it's like it's a big party. I was about to say, so they're the best girls ones, doing shows as well, and guys doing shows. Yeah, they're good. So this one was a big L-shaped house, like Broadbeach Waters on the water, and so I've gone to the toilet. When I was walking to the toilet, there was a door that was like half ajar. As I'm coming back, I hear like cunts fucking. So I go in, like open the door, and it was a room full of bunk beds. I look to the left. There's a guy standing where the ladder was, and there was this chick sucking him off. He was eating this chick out that was on top, and it was just a massive like 20-person blown orgy in there. There was a fucking midget in there. Bro, this midget, when I first got to the party, I thought he was a table. He was wearing this big sombrero and had chips and dip. So I've gone up to this table and I leant on it. He's like, "Oi!" I was like, "Oh, fuck, cunt." This little midget down there. And yeah, he was in on this orgy. Like, dude, he was gone ham in there. And they're like, "Oh, like, come in." I was like, "Oh, like, I had misses."
It's not an orgy until you fucking got a midget there.
Yeah, bro. And I was like, "Oh, I'm good, guys. Thanks for the offer, but I'll pass on this one." And
fuck. Has there been any other times when you were single?
Oh, bro. Yeah, all the time. When I was single, I was a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Like, I would never go into jobs trying to do it.
That, yeah.
But if it came my way.
Yeah, well, I'm sure, like, you're a good looking dude. I'm sure there's plenty of girls that after the show or whatever. Yeah. So after the show and stuff, do you do like I don't know, what do you call it, like lap dance or something?
Yeah,
after to like get a little bit more extra cash.
Oh, well, they happen either during the show, after the show, whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, chicks will. It's really weird, dude. Like, this is one thing I've never really understood about the industry. Like, chicks, and I'm sure guys as well. Like, there's a lot of good, solid chicks and guys out there that don't. Yeah. But then there's a fucking lot that just play up. And I'm like, you're supposed to be marrying the person you fucking love and want to spend the rest of your lives with, and you fucking, you know what I mean, paying me $150 to suck me off. Like,
yeah, I don't understand that shit.
Bro, I've never understood it. And like, I mean, fuck. Like, you'll have like, probably one of the better ones I've had that I can remember off the top of my head was I had 3 chicks pay me, I think it was like $100 each. They're like, "Oh, can you do extra for us?" I was like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And these were like decent looking chicks, bro. Like, I would have done it for free, no questions asked. And like, "Oh, we wanted to rack off your dick." And I was just like, "Yeah." And they're like, "How much?" I was like, $100 each. And they're like, "Yeah, sweet." So I had 3 chicks sucking off.
Did you have to get a hard on?
Oh, I was rock hard anyway. And I was doing rack off them, but like, it was a good time. But you know what I mean? Like, that shit always happens.
Yeah, I could imagine. I'm sure it could be a pretty fucking filthy trade.
And not even like, it's just the whole thing about the stripper. Yeah. Like, I've seen guys that are fucking ugly as fuck, and chicks just throw themselves at them because, like, it's the whole, like, fantasy, the stripper sort of thing. So, like, bro. Yeah,
so I've even seen, like, a lot of the dudes that you work with, like, they're sort of prawns. Like,
they
just got a real nice body and, like...
Yeah, the same as the chicks.
Yeah.
Like, look at half the chicks that get around doing that line of work, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking, ugh.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
But that's what I also wanted to ask, is your mum being a model and stuff like that, you're always wearing fresh gear and shit. Is that what got you into sort of, like, fashion?
Subconsciously, it would have been.
Yeah.
Because, like, where else would I get it from?
Yeah.
Like... my mum's wardrobe, and
she's looking always fresh.
Yeah, bro. My stepfather's wardrobe's fucking. It's like something you'd see out of like Kim Kardashian's wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really crazy into all the labels. I do like nice things because I think the quality is a lot better. Like, I like, you know what I mean, like nice wallets, watches, belts, that sort of thing. But like, I mean, there's no way I'm going to pay fucking $800 on a Gucci shirt. Like, this was $20 from AS Color. Like,
that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and you don't need to. Like,
that's just fucking
the guys that don't know how to dress themselves and have no fucking swag or sense in dress, they just think more is better.
Yeah,
and chuck all the labels on.
100%.
Nah.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, that's why I even just get heaps of my shit from Boohoo Man now, just because it's so cheap.
On, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck all that shit.
It's so fucking cheap. That's why even the other day, what was I getting? Oh, one of my Luke, my best mate, the dude I'm living with. Yeah. He's having his 31st birthday down in Melbourne. The theme is turtlenecks and chains.
Yeah.
So I just went on to Boohoo Man, got myself some pimpin' turtleneck, and then like they've even got, that was only like $12 or something, and then they got like all these chains and shit, and then I ended up just like, because you got to pay, because it's from the UK, you got to pay a fair bit of shipping, and I was like, I might as well just get some other shit. I bought like a fucking hat, tracksuit, a few other things. I probably had like 10 things, and it was like $200.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah, bro. I have noticed that though, like when you go down to Melbourne, like you and your boys down Vic, like you always, like, I found that I've lived everywhere in Australia. Melbourne is probably one of the only, well, Victoria's probably one of the only states or cities, whatever you say, that the guys actually know how to dress.
Yeah.
Like, there's guys that know how to dress everywhere, but like, you know what I mean? You look at half the cunts on the Gold Coast, like, what the fuck are you wearing, cunt?
Yeah.
Whereas you go, like, all your boys, you always
they're
look
like
fresh.
What you're saying, they're just rich and they're just buying expensive shit. But
but I mean,
It's all about the fit of the
On
tee.
the flip side as well, though, like you guys do have an advantage because winter clothes, like you can't wear half that shit.
Yeah.
So winter looks so much more better, like
Yeah.
than, you know what I mean, summer shit.
That's why sometimes I try
Yeah.
to wear some hot shit, and then I'm like,
It's true.
yeah, I'm like, damn, I'm sweating under here.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I'm like, it's not even wet. That's why I literally didn't have. I had one since I moved up here. I had a few jumpers, but I just chucked them out. And then when I got to winter and I was going down to Melbourne, when I went to the snow and stuff, I had one jumper, and I'm like, what the fuck? So then I had to like go buy a whole new fucking winter wardrobe just to go down to the snow and go to Melbourne for 2 weeks. I'm like, I need a new fucking jumper. But yeah, what about your training, bro? Like, you fucking always fit as fuck. You just do that. Obviously, you do that for your stripping and stuff as well, but it's just a lifestyle for you.
Yeah, it's more of a, like, the times that I've been injured or I haven't been training, bro, I just feel like my mental state just drops.
Yeah.
I don't feel good. I don't feel myself. I get depressed.
Yeah.
So it's more so like, I have to do it now.
Yeah.
And
this is good for your well-being.
Yeah, bro. Like, and it's like, I wouldn't, like, I definitely have found that the biggest thing for training, looking good all year round, blah, 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 is consistency.
Yeah.
Throughout everything. Diet. You got to have fun and be consistent and like do all that sort of shit, but you consistently got to go to the gym or go for a surf or whatever it is.
That's what I say. You do making it fun is definitely something that keeps it keeps you motivated, because you obviously do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Like you surf. You're saying you've been swimming and stuff. You obviously go to the gym. You box.
Yeah.
It's good. They're because I know that it's hard for me to stay motivated sometimes, but yeah, the consistency really does help. Boxing has really fucking helped me because I'm really enjoying it now.
Yeah.
It makes me want to go there. Even if I can't be fucked, I know that usually the times that I can't be fucked going are the times where I actually learn something.
100%.
Yeah.
They're the times I make sure I go.
Yeah.
Like the days I feel really good and like, fuck yeah, they're the normal times I have my days off.
Yeah.
And I leave those times, the mentally challenging times to train, because I feel like you dig deep and you like, you sort of almost, you know what I mean, fuck with your demons.
It's just like one layer.
Yeah.
And as soon as you fuck that layer off,
yeah,
you might have the best sesh ever.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, what about with the boxing? It's been fucking amazing being able to spar with you every week and stuff. Like, I would have never thought that I would be where I am now. Like, it's been crazy, and I like just want to say thank you for really helping me out, man.
No, I mean, I wouldn't, if I didn't like you, and I mean, we barely sort of know each other in the scale of things, but from what I do know from you and our interactions and whatnot, like, you seem like a genuine cunt and a good cunt. And like, I just know I wouldn't go above and beyond for someone I didn't, you know what I mean? Just anyone. Like, I like fuck with you. So like, I'm like, and like, you've, like, out of everyone I've been training PTing wise, like, you've definitely progressed by far the most. Yeah. Because you've got commitment. you want, you know, you want to get something out of it.
Well, that's why it's sort of even got me to the point now where I think that, from my understanding, I think that you have put a little bit of time and effort into me because you're seeing that I'm putting the extra time and effort in. Yeah. So now I feel like even just that, like, I'm holding me accountable and stuff. Yeah. So that has really helped. And when, obviously, at the end of the year or whenever it is, if we could train together for a fight, that would be like
that'd be sick.
That'd be a great achievement for me.
We might even like be able to fucking get on an amateur show together or something. That'd be good.
Yeah, imagine that. That would be awesome. Yeah. Maybe imagine if we ended up having them to fight each other. we're like we don't see, like, who are you going to fight? I'm like, no, we don't want to know. And then we walk out and see each other like, that'd be fucking hilarious. That would be fucked. Do you plan on like maybe doing like just like maybe like 1 or 2 a year, or is it just
probably like 1 or 2 years max? That's why I really fucking, you know.
At this stage I'm sort of the same. I just want to sort of just do it for fitness, and like I really enjoy like the art of it. And I'm learning new shit every week. But if I could do a couple of fights a year, that would be awesome.
Well, another thing as well, like, it's, you know what I mean, one of the big things I really have taken from as well, like, I always want to be able to protect my partner, my friends and family. And I thought I could. I mean, I always handled my shit back in the day, with no training.
Yeah.
But now that I know actually, and like, I mean, there's guys that are fucking a lot better than me that fucking wipe the floor of my ass. But I know now in any situation, like I know I'm confident I can handle my shit. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I feel like as well, like as a man, this is just my morals and everything, like what I've grown up with. Like if you can't fucking, you know what I mean, look after your girl, the people you care about, like what sort of man are you? You know what I mean? That's how I feel. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but that's just me.
I was the same sort of. We grew up like everyone was like fighting. We used to literally roam the streets looking for fights. But at the same time,
good old days.
I never liked fighting. I was sort of just, I don't know, the people I was hanging around with, like just where I was from, that's just like a normal thing. Like people would just do that.
Yeah.
And I was always like scared shitless and all the time, but I would always get in fights and stuff like that. And now I hate senseless violence, but like now it does feel really good to know that if I was to get in a fight, I wouldn't be fucking scared out of my fucking out of me boots, you know what I mean? Like before I was just literally fighting out of fear, and now like if something did happen, I feel comfortable that I'll be able to handle myself properly and not just out of adrenaline, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, that's why it's been so good. Ever since I've stepped foot in here, like you can tell there's a bit of a family, like because it's a family-owned business.
Yeah.
They've really been welcoming. So massive shout out to Matrix. But thanks for coming on, bro.
Easy, bro. My pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
Good to have a chat.
That was